In this video, we will talk about giving the position to the particular element using the CSS. Now, when we talk about positioning in CSS, we have provided with three different options of positioning, and those are absolute positioning, relative positioning, and fixed positioning. So, as per your requirement, you can choose, like, it's all about designing your web page where you want to put a particular element. According to that, you will plan like which particular position you should go for. So let's talk about absolute positioning. Absolute positioning is basically something, as the name says, it's absolute, means here you will have to pass two values, that is the x-axis and y-axis value. That is, x-axis means the horizontal one, which will be taken from the left hand side, and absolute positioning from the top, that is vertical, that is the y-axis. So on the basis of the coordinates which you will pass, the particular element will be posted to that location. So as it is mentioned, the element is positioned at the specific coordinates related to your screen top left corner, right? So the top left corner from my side will be taken from the coordinates. Two values, top and left, can be used along with the position property to move an HTML element. Like for example, if you will pass 0, 0 in the absolute position, it will go at the right top and the left hand side, and if you want to make some changes, you can just keep changing the value, that is the left and the top, to make it on a particular position. Now, next thing is the relative positioning. Relative positioning is something where you will pass again the coordinates, but this time it will be relative to its original position. Like for example, inside a particular div you are putting some text, and inside that only, that's the relative position, you want to make some changes. So you can pass the relative positioning, means you will have to set the mode of the positioning, that is the relative, and then you will pass the numbers, like where exactly you want to put. And the last one is the fixed positioning, where you will pass any particular coordinate, and even after that, even if you're scrolling up and down the page, that particular element will remain at that position itself. Like that will be like something like always visible. All right, even if it's a big page you are scrolling up, but that particular element where you have used the fixed positioning is not going to change its position. So let's see a quick practical implementation of all the three available positioning options.
So as far as the positioning is concerned, here in this example I have taken a div in which I have used the position attribute with the value relative. So this one is the relative positioning with the left 80 pixel and top 2 pixel. Let's make it 20. Alright, so when I'll refresh, you can see, alright, that this is the relative positioning. When I talk about relative positioning, though the size of the text is like this much only, but it will occupy the complete width. But if I will make it to absolute, let me change here as well. Alright, so absolute will, first thing is that it will take the text space itself. It will not occupy the complete width which is available for this particular div. Now let's make it relative again. Alright, and after that, to understand it better, what I'll do, I will add one more div right after it. Alright, so what you can observe here, I have placed two divs with the same relative positioning and with the same left and top margin. Alright, so let's see how it is being reflected here. So you can observe like both are coming separately. Alright, let me just change the color as well. So you can see the second one is the relative, means the second div which I just added. Alright, so because I have passed the same left and top values in both the divs, still they are not crossing each other. Why? Because the second one is related to the first one. Relatively, it is adjusting its position. But if I will say it absolute, then it is not taking the reference or relevance of any other element of this particular DOM. It will just take the relativity of that particular element inside which this div is existing. So let me make it absolute, and when I'll refresh, you can see it is overlapping this one. All right, because doesn't matter whether it is overlapping anything or not. When I say it's absolute, it will definitely go to that very point. All right, and will be rendered over the DOM. So these are the things which you will have to be sure about, the relative and absolute positioning. The third one in the list is the fixed. So let's see that one also. So here I will make it fixed, and I will say this is fixed positioning. All right, and to increase the page size, I will just add some BR tags. All right, so let's come and refresh. Let me change the position first of all. Absolute, I'll make it 0 0. All right, so this is at the very top, and fixed one is left 80. It's fine. Top, I'll make it 120, so it will come down. All right, so this is fixed position. So when I will scroll, you can see this is still there. So this is the fixed positioning, the simplest one without any confusion. It is going to be at the same position. So in case you want something like always visible type of content, you can put it inside the fixed positioning. So these are the three things which we have as far as the positioning is concerned, that is the absolute, relative and fixed with CSS.